Hey guys, what's up? My name's Clara Chowder and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be potting up a couple of plants that I recently got from the Ecuagenera pop-up haul in Wayers Cave, Virginia. It's been about 2 days. They've been sitting in water and everything is looking pretty good, so I feel confident to pot them up and put them in some soil. So follow along and let's check it out. So today I'm going to be using my soil mix that I make myself. It's part potting soil. I add some extra perlite in, horticultural charcoal, and some orchid bark, and sometimes a little bit of worm castings if I have them. But yeah, it's a mixture that varies a lot depending on how I make it and what I have on hand. But my plants don't seem to mind, so that's what we'll be using today. And the first plant that we'll be potting up is the Philodendron Patriciae, which, oh shoot. Just spilled some water. Look at how beautiful that is. I am obsessed. There is a little bit of damage on this new leaf, which I was a little bit worried about, and the damage on the older leaves has become more prominent, but I'll probably just chop that off just to make sure it doesn't spread to the rest of the plant. But yeah, it's been sitting in water for almost 48 hours now. We'll go ahead and trim off some dead roots and get it in soil and see how it goes. So if you are interested, stick around and let's do that together. Alright guys, let's start by trimming off some roots. So I've got some clean scissors, which I wiped with alcohol, just to make sure I don't spread any bacteria or increase chances of rot. So this root right here is very squishy and flimsy, and it has the sheath coming off of it, so I'm just going to cut that off because we don't need that. And then there's another one right here which just broke off, so we'll just keep pulling that off. And then this little guy right here is not gonna make it, so we'll just pull that off too. Doesn't look like I'll be using my scissors very much. And I think the rest of these roots are okay. I'll trim a little bit off of the ends just to make sure, but they're not pulling apart and just disintegrating, so I think they're okay. They have some substance when you squish them. They don't just deflate, which is what you look for when you're looking for rotting roots. So yeah, we'll just go with this. Not too much came off, so I'm pretty happy about that. And then we're gonna put her in this pot right here. I really like this pot because it has a removable stopper for drainage. So if I wanted to, I could use it as a cache pot. But today we're gonna be using it for this guy to plant right up in. I don't wanna go too big because I don't want the roots to just kind of drown in the soil. So I think this is a good starter size for her. So we'll just get right into it. Oops. Just gonna start by putting a nice layer of soil on the bottom so no roots are about to fall out the pot. And now we'll go ahead and put her in with everything tucked in nice and tight. I thought about putting a moss pole on her. I'm not sure if I want to. Now's kind of the time to decide. So, I'm gonna skip it. Just because the leaves hang on their own, so. And this plant has a pretty short internodal spacing, so I'm not worried about it needing too much support from a moss pole. So we're just gonna backfill this in. I want to make sure the stem is pretty buried because it is very top heavy, especially with the dangling leaves. So I want to make sure it can support itself. And not just come falling out of the pot, which it might do. Yeah, I think I will put the moss pole in, or at least put it a little deeper. Just so it can have something to support itself with. Yeah, we'll do that. And we'll just backfill this in. Lightly tapping so that it's not smushing everything down, but it's nice and snug. And let's get this other side. This is not easy to do with such a large plant. All right, let's make sure that's all the way in. Okay, I think that looks pretty tidy. Now I'm gonna take some Velcro. I have a huge roll of it, and we're just gonna cut a decent sized piece off and decide which stem we're gonna support on the moss pole. I don't want to go directly on the stem because there is a new leaf and I don't want to damage it. So we're just gonna wrap it around this leaf right here so that at least that will have some support. And she stands. So there you have it, guys. First one's potted up. I'm really excited about this one. She's so beautiful, but we are gonna have to chop off this sad part right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. Because in case there's any kind of bacterial thing going on, I don't want it to spread to the rest of the plant. I know it's just damage from shipping, but better safe than sorry. It'll put out new leaves and be beautiful again, but rather than sacrifice the plant, we'll sacrifice a half a leaf or two. So there's that Philodendron Patriciae, looking super cute. Love her. All right, the next plant we're going to be potting is this Anthurium pendens, which has also been soaking in water. These roots look really healthy. I'm really excited because there's not much loss on these at all. So I really think this plant's not gonna take any damages really. It still looks great since I bought it. So pretty happy about that. So we're gonna put this one in this terracotta pot, I think. Let's see if the roots will fit. That's pretty tight. Yeah, we're gonna pot this one in this other pot that I have, so they'll be matching the pendants and the Patriciae. So let me just take the drainage plug out of this. All right. So once again, I'm gonna be putting a layer of soil in the bottom. And then we're gonna put the plant in. Look at all of these roots. Gosh, such a beautiful plant. Might have put a little too much dirt in the bottom. We'll see about that. I have to dump it out. Tuck that little guy in there. All right, I think we're good. And then we just fill that in, making sure to squish it around so it gets around the roots. We don't want any air pockets in there. And especially with a large root system like this one, it's easy to kind of leave spaces open. So we'll just make sure we zhuzh it around, cover everything. There might be a couple little aerial roots poking out, but that'll be okay. All right, I missed a big section over here. Plant's in the way though. And just kind of pat it down, make sure everything's nice and snug in there. Give it a little bit more. I don't want it to be right up to the rim, the soil line, but pretty close. All right, there she is, looking beautiful. I think she'll be really happy in this pot for at least a little while. I won't have to repot anytime soon, which is nice. We'll just keep an eye on her, make sure transitioning is going well and there's continuing to not be any leaf loss. For the first week or so, I'll probably keep the soil on both of these guys more moist than I typically would for an aroid, just because they were soaking in water and the roots have kind of gotten used to that already. I don't want to shock them by just having them dry out too quick and then they rot. So we'll keep it a little bit on the moist side and hopefully everything will go smoothly. If you guys have any questions about my process, make sure to comment down below. I'm always happy to help. If you have any tips for me, definitely let me know. Always willing to learn. Otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Here are these two cuties living their best lives in their new pots. I did end up trimming a little bit off of the new leaf of the Patriciae just to make sure that didn't spread as well. But yeah, I think they look really nice. The color of the pots really complements the dark green of the foliage. And I'm excited to have these guys in my greenhouse.